Behind me here in Glengarrow Woods is a plantation of trees planted as a symbol of the Irish nation, each one representing a household in Ireland. So this metaphor of togetherness is obvious, but if you look at them, of course, each tree is individually different. And so with ideas, our individual ideas themselves, though some of the trees are small, some are big, some are fat, some are skinny, and this differentiation, this represents ideas too, right? So our individual ideas is actually what powers our togetherness. So in this step in the design sprint, it's all about ideation, your individual ideas that makes the whole stronger. And you'll be working through what's known as the 4-step sketch. And I'll explain that in a minute. And you'll also do a bit of research. So we start with a bit of research. And that just means taking out your phone and for about 10 minutes, looking at other ideas. How did this problem that was defined in the last step, who else has worked on something similar? And what were their solutions? And also look at things outside the box, that just solutions that you like that perhaps could have some influence on your thinking of a solution. So basically it could be anything, just things you like, ideas you like. If you're looking at solutions for a service, look at buildings. It doesn't matter, like what is it about design of one thing that strikes you, and just use that 10 minutes for inspiration. There's no rules here, but just write down ideas that you see that you like. After that research is done, we'll go through what we call the 4-step sketch. And the first part of that is just taking notes on the first step that we completed previously, right? And that is the definition of the vision, the map, which has the goals on one end and the actors on the left and the journey through that. It has the how might we's that detail the biggest risks and the biggest challenges. So how might we's on the challenges and your biggest risks, and they're placed on your map. And also your goals, your 6-month goals, your 6-year goals, and your 6-week goals. So take notes on all of the risks that were identified, take notes on the vision, take notes on the map. And this is just your own summary of what you see. Let's say you're re-articulating what you see as the problem in this exercise. The next part of this step is just to come up with ideas, right? So this is, you're going to take 2 pieces of paper and just write random ideas that come to you based on your research, based on your looking at the problem. Now you'll probably have found that as you were looking at the problem, some ideas came to you, and now this is the time to put them down on a piece of paper. This is just for your own use. Nobody's going to be looking at this. After about 10 minutes, when that exercise is done, you're going to do something called Crazy Eights, right? So Crazy Eights is a lot of fun. It's a very simple exercise, but basically at the end of the last step, what you would have needed to do is circle some of your more interesting ideas, interesting to you. Now, take your best idea out of that and we'll run it through Crazy Eights. So it works like this, right? So you take a piece of paper. I'm going to show you an example that I asked my cousin to do for me, my nephew actually, Nico. And I asked Nico, can you come up with 8 different ways to tag somebody's wine glass for a wedding that we were at? And this is what he did. So he took a piece of paper like this, folded it in half, right? Folded it again, that's fold number 2. Fold it one more time to have 8 frames inside here. And so here's his work on 10-year-old Nico's wine glasses, you see? Neat little ideas that Nico came up with on a single idea of a tag for a wine glass. And so you'll do the same. You'll take your top idea and create 8 variations of it. You got 1 minute per frame. So you've looked at the problem, you've taken notes at it, you've done your research, you've written down some ideas, you've circled those good ideas, you did some Crazy Eights. final step in the 4-step sketch, which is to take 3 pieces of paper, beginning, middle and end. And this is now where you get a little bit more detailed. What we're looking for here is clarity, and you're going to use words and you're going to use diagrams, and you're going to create a journey that will represent what you've done in the map, but it's a solution for that journey, and it's going to address the biggest risks and it's going to address the biggest challenges in an effective way. This is your solution. You're going to do it on your own, and it should be clear enough for someone else to read. And I'll tell you why, because in the next step somebody will be reading through this in front of the rest of the team, describing it without your input. So it has to be readable for someone else. So that's the 4-step sketch. So this ideation process is a lot of fun, right? We've done all the work with defining the problem. Now we're just going to have fun and be creative and individually come up with ideas that represent our thinking. In the next step, we'll pick one or more of these or parts of them. So don't worry about somebody being the best or, you know, your idea not getting picked. We have a way of helping identify the best parts of each solution, and you'll find that out in the next step. All right, thank you.